lose yourself.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Nescorch here today, back on Badlion, doing some Badlion PvP once again, and let's get right into this. What I actually want to talk about today is just kind of a topic that I may have already, I already made a PvP video, like, showing the keyboard up in the corner over here. Whoa, this person's trying to put me on lava, on fire. I already made that video, but the thing is that I didn't have commentary in that just because with the keyboard I thought that's really all I wanted to show for that today, but or for that day rather. But today I want to talk to you guys about like what settings I actually have. So I guess this is kind of like a V2 of that video in a way, I guess. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because a couple days ago I actually tried to switch my hotkeys back to original hotkeys. Now, as you can see here, I have some pretty weird hotbar slot hotkeys. You know, obviously this is normally 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the only one I actually use, just because that one I can reach pretty easily to go to my bow. But yeah, so I don't even know exactly why I have these as they are. I think I originally put these, like, I had F and C back. I've had those the longest back when I used to play on this other server, the first PvP server that I played on, which I actually think it's still up. But this was my sword slot 1 and this was my bow, and I wasn't really able to press the 1 and 2 buttons, so I just switched this to F and that to C. And the more I got into PvP, the more I started to like having my fishing rod in the second slot and having my fire, whatever fire I'm using, in the third slot. And then the fourth slot, I started to use my bow, or put my bow there rather. So, like I said, I really don't know why I chose these, why I never got used to just pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 I could maybe stretch to press, and then just think of different buttons for 7, 8, 9. But yeah, so what I tried doing the other day, or actually yesterday, was I tried switching these back, like resetting these to being all of this. And I tried PvPing like that, but it didn't go well. Here, let me try doing it once. Let me do an unranked iron build. See, okay, I can press 1 pretty well, but like the thing I don't get is that if you don't have toggle sprint on, how you press 2 to go to your second inventory, because you have to hold down W as well. So maybe you use your ring finger to press that. I don't even know. But like I was sort of getting used to this, but I wasn't very good at going back and forth between the rod and the sword, so I just didn't really use the rod as much. I just stuck with the sword. Which, I mean, I can do decently, obviously, with just using a sword, and then I'm used to 4 being my bow, so, like, I can actually switch to that pretty well. But, like, wait, let's see, and then that, okay, that is still my gapple, but, like, going to my rod like that, I don't know, it was so hard to get used to, and I didn't actually think I would get used to it, so that's why I went ahead and switched back to my original ones. Let me kill this guy, and then explain some more. But yeah, so that I thought would be way too hard to get used to. This I've just been used to for so long. FCX4V. This is like an actual side button on my mouse. I don't know, it's just called button 4, I guess. And this is the other button. The front side button is where I put my gapples, and then the back side button is where I put my second water bucket. So yeah, and then my golden heads are Z, my blocks are G. I don't know. These are again really weird hotkeys that I just got used to. Everything else is pretty much the exact same, I think. I don't know what key control is, but like it screws up when I try to have it. Usually it's control, and I actually have toggle sprint installed, but as you can see, I don't use it because I recently got into trying to W tap, and I don't use whatever it's called, the toggle sprint to W tap. I just hold control, like 1.7 PvP introduced with the sprint key. So I still have it installed because every once in a while I start to use it again, but right now I just use hold down control to sprint, and W tap every now and then. I don't like go crazy with it because it starts to hurt my hands actually, but or hurt my left hand obviously. But I do it a little bit, I guess. Yeah, everything else is the same, I think, like default really. This is just, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain that. I use R for zoom. I've always used that. As soon as 1.7 came out and introduced the sprint key as being control, because right when you download Optifine, control is the zoom, but as soon as control started to was used for the sprint key, I don't know, I guess R was the first thing I thought of to use for zoom, and that's just what I've gotten used to. And then everything else, I use F4 for the F5 key, just because I actually, when I played on my old laptop, I would actually use F5. I know most people either use it on their mouse or just like a different keyboard key because it's too hard to press, but the F4 key is actually much easier for me to press than the F5 key. But like what I do is I just lift up my palm, I keep my ring finger or my middle finger on W, so I'll keep running forward, and then keep my thumb on space so I keep jumping, and then just lift up my hand and press F4 to toggle my perspective. I'm on an alt, by the way, that's why this is a different skin. Yeah, so that's kind of weird, I guess. I mean, it's weird because it's F4, not F5, but I don't know, that's just what I got used to. And then I actually don't know my DPI. This mouse is like a really, I don't want to say like bad mouse because I've gotten so used to it and I've been able to PvP really well with it, but it is like a stock mouse, if you will, from the company that I bought my computer, which is CyberPower PC. So yeah, and it didn't really come with like a DPI or a settings manual or anything like that, so I have no idea what the DPI is, but the in-game sensitivity I use currently is 63. I know this has been bumped up from the PvP video. I think I had it at 56 in that. Recently I've been trying to bump it up a little just because I feel like my sensitivity is really low, and maybe that doesn't allow me to like flick up and get a double hit or something in the middle of a fight. So I've been trying to put that up a little bit. Let's maybe bump it to 64. Just a little changes every now and then, just to slowly build that up. But yeah, right now I'm using the default texture pack, just because I don't know, I didn't feel like using any of these. That's shaders. I didn't feel like using any of these currently. And I haven't been hating it really, but okay, let's get into some more PvP because you guys are probably bored of hearing me talk. But yeah, so I tried switching my hotkeys like I said, and that was just a complete failure. I don't think I would have gotten used to it. I mean, probably eventually I would have, but like it wasn't something I was really like interested in investing my time in, because I mean, it's not really like a problem. No matter what you use, if it works for you, then you should just keep it because it obviously works for you. The main reason why I wanted to switch it actually, other than the fact that these are just really, really weird and I thought I was weird for using them, was because right here, when I have my healing here, when I'm playing like UHC games, when I'll pick up like healing over here, and normally, you can just press whatever this hotkey is to push this into that slot. So like if I have my sword up here, I pick up a sword, I press F. For me, it's F. Obviously, it's 1 for most people, and that goes there. So that's so much easier than having to like pick it up and drag it. But for this, like my side button is this hotkey as well as this one, and when I press it, it doesn't go there. So I don't know why that's broken, or if it's just not not able to be used for a hotkey or something. I don't even know. So that made me want to change it to like an actual keyboard key so that I could hotkey something in my inventory to that slot. But again, I wasn't getting used to it quick enough, and I wasn't ready to invest a lot of time into changing it completely when what I already have really already works for me and isn't that big of a deal. So I just didn't think it'd be really worth it. So yeah, hopefully these these things that I've talked about have been, I guess, entertaining. I don't really know. You guys probably think I'm like really weird for having these hotkeys, but you know, like I said, it works for me. Whatever works for you, just keep it. You know, I always see in videos that I watch, I always see comments where it's like, what's your DPI, what's your sensitivity, what's your FOV? Right now I'm still using 85 FOV, if you guys care, I don't know. But like, whatever works for you is just what you should use, because that means that, you know, just like whatever fits you, that's what you should stick with. This guy doesn't want to fight me, I guess. But yeah, because if it works for you, then, I mean, it doesn't matter what someone else uses, because you should just stick with what, like, don't try to fix it if it's not broken, is kind of like what I'm trying to say, I guess. This guy, okay, that was close. GG. But yeah, so, you know, don't change something if it's already working for you. There's really no point for that. So, alright, let's do one more fight. Hopefully it's a decent fight. No one really with much elo is on right now. But let's get into this. Hopefully you guys did find this video, I guess, entertaining, to get a little bit more knowledge about how I PvP, or like the settings I use for PvP, I guess, because I didn't really, in the how I PvP video I uploaded like a couple weeks ago, I didn't really explain how I PvP because, like I said, I didn't commentate on it. I just showed the keyboard presses. So hopefully this provides a little bit more insight to how I PvP. And yeah, so I W-tap a little bit, like right there I was W-tapping just because it was kind of helpful in that situation, but I really don't know much about W-tapping. I just tried doing it and noticed that it was helping a little bit, so now I just kind of freestyle with it and use it whenever I really think it could help, but obviously sometimes I do it incorrectly and it doesn't really work for me, but yeah. So anyway, like I said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful or entertaining, please leave a like down below, and I will see you all next time.